Hello, and this is my 2022 room tour. I saw that vinyl lovers like to post these room tours on YouTube, so I thought I would go ahead and join it. This is where I keep the vinyl. There's a separate listening room which we'll go into, so actually it's kind of two rooms, but most of the action happens in the other room. The cool thing about this room, this is the TV room with the surround sound. Also have the live instruments in the other end. The listening room turntable is connected into this sound system. So there's a pre-out on my integrated amp, and I have cables that run through the crawl space. I hired my daughter's ex-boyfriend to run those for me, so we can listen to vinyl out here and in the listening room at the same time, and just using the multiple amps and preamps in the signal path. So that's kind of cool. The albums, I only have right around 400 right now, and they're a mix of new pressings and older pressings and reissues over the years, starting with AC/DC and ending up with ZZ Top on the other end. The cool thing about these records are that my brother gifted me a couple hundred of them. So I had been getting back into vinyl back in the early 2000s, and then he gave me these albums 5 or 6 years ago. And the albums he had purchased over the years, mostly in the 70s and the 80s, and he bought them when they came out. So when they were released, he purchased these albums. So I have almost the whole discography of Queen and Rush and Talking Heads and all these bands, and they are original purchases that he made and then he took care of, and he was very fastidious about his records, which I greatly appreciate, because I can take one of these old records that he bought in '77 and put it on, and it sounds like it's brand new. Sounds amazing, because there's very few crackles or pops. He took really good care of his records. And there's also there's nostalgia as well, because we'll go ahead and head into the listening room now, because I was there when he purchased many of those albums, and there's also, of course, albums that I purchased from back in that time, but not as many. And so I can pull out a record that's I was there the day it was purchased, when it was released in 1978, and we went to the store to get the new Aerosmith record. I have that record now, so there's more to it than just the sound quality and the art and all that. There's that nostalgia and sentimentality, I guess, attached to it as well. All right, so now we're in the listening room. This used to be my daughter's bedroom. She moved out, so it's a small room for a listening room, too small. So there's a lot of absorption on the walls, carpet on the floor. It's got the popcorn ceiling, otherwise known as an acoustic ceiling, and then a couple of pieces of furniture here. So we're able to hopefully absorb a lot of that extra sound. The speakers were... I was able to purchase those on sale, so hence the fact that they're so large. I think maybe the fact that they're as large and ugly as they are is why I was able to find them so cheap. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I guess. So, but I like them. I love the sound. The drums and bass sounds amazing on these speakers. These are JBL 590s, and I'm looking to get another set of speakers in here and switch these out. I've been looking at switching into the British sound, so I'm looking at right now some Kefs and some Tannoys. But these JBLs, I like them. I think for the money, I don't know if you can find higher performing speakers. I mean, good luck. I mean, it's on sale for $400 each right now, so I recommend them, especially if you have a larger room, and at that price, it's a slam dunk. Okay, so in this room, it's only about 15 by 12. So like I mentioned, there's a lot of acoustic treatment in here. And I tried to do this on the cheap as much as possible. So like these tapestries that you see hanging here, they're cheap off of Amazon, and they are doubling as absorption and decoration. And many of these things that you see on the wall, these canvases, were purchased at Kmart that was going out of business, or I got them on Amazon. I believe the John Lennon canvas was $4. So you don't have to break the bank to do this sort of thing. The paint, I bought that at Lowe's. It was something had been returned, and it was $9 for all the paint in here. So this is funny. This piece of furniture. Let me close this up. It's got some gear down there. It was a TV, an old school TV console. It used to have a 25-inch color TV in there, and someone took the TV out and put shelves in there, and I used that for where my CD player is and other stuff. That piece of furniture was in this room in this house when I bought this house 12 years ago. It's been in this room ever since. It's super handy, and so it's now my default stereo. What do you call it? Cabinet. There you go, or rack. The stereo itself, it consists of a music hall turntable, and it has a OM20 cartridge stylus on it. It's great. I'm not thinking of doing any upgrading. You know what? I forgot. Didn't realize how dark it was in here. Let's get a little more light going. There we go. That's better. This turntable I've had probably since I don't know, 7 or 8 years, and it's solid. I've made some upgrades on it, like the acrylic platter, and then I did the lights, which once you upgrade to the acrylic platter, it's like $15 for these lights on Amazon, and just put them under the platter. You just have to be careful that nothing is scraping or anything, so you don't want to cause any disturbance of the movement of the platter. That can be a little bit tricky, but otherwise a cheap upgrade. Looks cool, especially when you put colored vinyl. It looks really neat with the light coming through it, and then it changes colors and can be nice. The rest of the gear really that I'm using now is the Musical Fidelity LPS V90 phono pre-stage, or phono stage, excuse me, preamp. And then this is the newest part that I've swapped out recently, and it's a Cambridge Audio CXA81 integrated amplifier. So what I have been doing since around 2001 is slowly changing out equipment, slowly upgrading, pieces here and there. And that's, tinkering with the sound. And as you can see now, there are dollies under the speakers so I can move them around. But I'll probably take those down at some point because I'm not sure I like the sound when they're elevated a few inches like that. But anyways, it's fun to do the research and, pull out a record that you remember buying with your brother back in the 70s for like $6 or something brand new. And I can go get that exact record and I can put it on here, and it will sound better than I've ever heard it in my life. And, I've lived with this record for 40, who knows, maybe more, maybe 45 years. And now I'm hearing things that I hadn't heard before because I hadn't had the system that would actually extract the music and portray it the way that it was intended to be heard, as far as the way it was mixed and mastered and the media that it's being played on. It's a really cool nostalgic trip, sentimental thing. And it's just fun to hear, some of that music come to life. And then it also is fun to see how you can manipulate things by changing, just by simply, scooting the speakers a little closer together, a little farther apart, or little things like taking away vibration, or adding some sort of a filter maybe to the electrical circuit or something. It's a lot of fun, and there's no end to it. It's infinite. You're never going to get to the end of this journey, which I think is what makes it so fun. So anyway, this is my room tour. Thank you very much for listening. Take care.